Good morning, everyone. So today I will be changing the oil on my 2013 BMW 528Xi. It's been about 6,000 miles since the last oil change, and I will be doing the oil change today. This is actually the first time I'm doing an oil change on an F10. I used to do it all the time on my E60, and that always went well. I've done that for the entire time I had that car. So today I will be doing it on this car, which I have never done before. The process should be the same. It's relatively easy. The only difference is this car uses less oil because it's a 4-cylinder. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you know what kind of oil that I use. Now, I've done a lot of research online, and what I have noticed is this is the best oil for BMWs. So many people have recommended Mobil 1 and Castrol. This is actually what BMW recommends, but I will be going with Liqui Moly. This is the best oil for BMWs and most German vehicles. This is their newest version, the Moly Gen. What they claim to say is that this oil will be the closest thing you have to zero friction in the engine, and everybody's been swearing by it. Tons of reviews online and videos. This is the 5W40. The good thing about this oil is actually green, so if you have an oil leak, you can take a black light to the engine and it'll tell you exactly where the leak is from. So this will probably be my favorite thing about this oil, because I'm sure I will have some oil leaks on this in the future, and that green Moly Gen agent will sure be helpful. Also, sorry for the mess, I have the oil filter. This is the original oil filter for this car. This is what I would recommend, is that you will get as you can see, it's got the seal on it. It's got the BMW group. I was actually able to find this online on Amazon very easily. This was like, I think, $7 a piece. This was about $40 on Amazon. So really, that's all you need to change the oil. Actually, you need one more thing to change the oil, which is the oil filter wrench or cap remover, or however you want to call it. This was actually tricky to find, because I thought this was going to be easy to find from the local AutoZone or Advanced Auto. They had every size except this one. This is the 86mm. This is the exact fit for the F10 series. It should work on the 528, 535. Should work on all of them. They should all have the same size. This is the 86mm. It's on Amazon. This was, I believe, $10. So this is really all you need to change your oil, plus of course your tools and wrenches and jack. So let me go ahead and start. I will start by jacking the car. I'm going to be jacking the car from the passenger side, and then we can pop the hood. So as you can see, I got the hood opened up. We can see everything clearly. What I would recommend is that you would, especially if you live in a cold environment like we do, it's about 10 degrees outside right now in New York. So make sure that you start the car, keep it running for at least 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, let the oil heat up a little bit. You just want to make sure that you get rid of all the oil when you take off that drain cap, just so you can have an easier flow, and make sure you get rid of all the old oil from the engine. Let me actually put my gloves on. Make sure that you loosen up that oil cap for now, at least so you can have an easier flow when you take that drain cap off. And let's go ahead and jack the car. I don't have a lot of room to work with, but I'll make it work. Alright guys, so here's what I've done so far. Like I said before, I was planning to jack the car from the passenger side and do the whole process that way, but then I don't know, I don't really have a lot of room down there. So what I decided to do is I lifted the car up on this little jack, just enough so I can get my big jack under it, and I was able to get to that center jacking point, and I lifted the whole front end, as you can see, and then I put the jack stand, both of them, both jack stands, I put them under those jacking points. You got to be really careful with that, because if you don't have those mounting adapters, those rubber pieces that sit perfectly under that jacking point, you might break it. So luckily I was able to put the jacking point, or put the jack stands under the vehicle without damaging anything. So I got one right here, one right there, as you can see, and I got the front end lifted just enough so I can slide under it, and I can go ahead and do the oil change. It's kind of dark in here, so I don't know if you'll be able to see. And what I wanted to also mention to you guys is the on this model, the 2013 528Xi, the 4-cylinder. This one uses the drain plug as a 17mm, which I got right here. So I'm about to take off the drain plug. Got my catch can right there. As you can see, make sure you have a good one, and make sure that you wear some rubber gloves and have some paper towels handy, because it might be messy. And just go easy on the nut when you take it off, because sometimes they don't over tighten it, or take it off too fast or too quick. You might break it. It has actually broken before on the BMW with me on the E60, and I had to go get a new one. Yeah, that was a nightmare to deal with. So just be careful, don't rush it. Oil might be hot, so don't burn yourself on that. Just drain the oil, put the oil cap back on, and also make sure that the engine fill cap is open, so you have good airflow going through the engine, so you can get rid of all the oil, or most of it at least. Okay guys, so now that we have the oil completely drained, I still have the drain plug open, so it can slowly drip on its own and completely drain the engine. Like I said, we have this. The engine oil cap is removed. Let's put that on the side. Now we have to take care of the filter. So I have the filter cap opener, the oil filter opener. Make sure that you use this. From what I can see, somebody has done a terrible job on this, and you can see they damaged the filter, they damaged the housing. So we are not gonna do any more damage with this thing. That's why you always get the right tools to work on your car. Before I unlock that, let me put that plastic thing on, so we can catch any oil that might drip, and slowly turn it. Don't go too fast. It shouldn't drip a lot of oil, since we already have the drain plug open. Just go nice and easy, because this usually does have some residual oil. Just don't get too crazy with it. There you go. So now that we have that, let it drain for a little bit. You can see the oil. This oil only got 6,000 miles on it. You can tell it's already due for a change. These engines, man, you have to keep them fresh. That's why I was doing a lot of research to get the best oil for this car, because they usually have issues with the timing chain after a while, and so I'm trying to avoid that, hopefully, by using the best oil out there. So that's why I got that liquid moly. Okay, so now that it's completely well, almost empty, we can put it in the plastic bag. You can remove this for now, and then you can move it away from the engine in the plastic bag with almost no mess. So now that we have the new filter, old filter, let's take this out. Okay, also you got to make sure to remove the O-ring. There's two of them. There's one right here, there's one right here. You have to change both of them. You can't skip that one or this one. You need to change them because they are absolutely crucial to keep the engine running smoothly. So these tweezers should do the job. Okay. That's the old O-ring out. So as you can see, old O-ring is out. We have new O-rings. Let me try and get the second one. Let me see if I can squeeze myself in there. Okay, that's the tiny O-ring. The green one, that's gone. New O-ring. Put that back on. New O-ring. That should be easy. And it should slide right through. Okay. Put some oil on the O-ring and both of them. Now you can go ahead and slide in the new filter. This should go on really easy. Just slide it in, it clips right back on, and just make sure that everything is good. It's all clean, no issues. Filter is there. Now we put it back in the engine. So now all we have to do is slide the new filter back in and slowly rotate it. Should be fairly easy, and once you can't do it more by hand, you can go back to your ratchet and tighten it back up. Technically you should be using a torque wrench with this thing, but I don't have one right now, so I'm just gonna use my wrench right here. I usually do have a good feel for it, so this should be, it should be torqued to 25 Newton meters. If you just take it nice and slow. That should be good. You always want to be careful with these plastic caps. You don't want to over torque them. If you under torque them, they might leak. So okay, so that's we're good with the oil filter. Let's go back down under the car and put the drain plug back into the car, and then we can go ahead and refill the oil, and we should be all set. I don't know if you can tell, but it's actually the oil is green. I've never seen green oil before, but that's what good stuff is made of, I guess. Alright, so this car takes about 5 quarts. I think it's 5.3, and this can has just shy of 5.3 quarts. 5 liters. So this one should be enough for this car. Let's pour that, start the engine, measure it. There's no dipstick on these vehicles, so you have to be inside the vehicle to do it. And so we'll do that right after pouring the oil. Alright, so now that we are in the car, I got the jack stands off. Jack is away from under the car. We're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and start the car. So to measure your oil, basically you have to go to vehicle information and then go to measure engine oil level. So of course you have to be in park and make sure that you do not rev the engine while the measurement's being taken. So make sure the vehicle is level. That's, you know, that's a given. So go ahead and hit the start measurement. This will take a minute or two. So as you can see, it's at the max level. You got the minimum, the max, and we are perfectly aligned with the line. So the engine got the perfect amount of oil. Everything is sealed up. Everything is good to go, and we are all set. So to reset the oil indicator, basically what you need to do is hit that trip reset button and just hold it for a few seconds. And then you'll see the first thing that comes up is the engine oil level. It says reset possible. This is actually the menu where you can reset most of the maintenance indicators on the car, like you know, you got the vehicle check, brake pads, front brake pads, brake fluid, and then you can cycle back to engine oil. So as you can see right now, it says reset possible. What you need to do next is hold the trip reset button again, and then it's going to ask you to reset. Confirm it one more time, hold it again one more time, and then as you can see it says reset in progress. Wait for that, and it's all done. Now you have 11,000 miles left on the vehicle, and you have 11,000 miles left. As you can see here, we have 11,000 miles left on the oil, and we are good to go. So thank you guys for watching this video about how to quickly change your oil in your BMW. It's really an easy job. You just have to get the right tools, the right equipment to get the job done. It's really easy. It takes you it should take you about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on your skill level, or if you're doing it for the first time or your 10th time. So you'll be much more comfortable with it. This is definitely going to save you a lot of money in the long term. Getting the oil filter and the oil will cost you around 50 bucks, and if you were to take this to a dealer, they will charge you, I think it's $150 for an oil change. So that's quite a bit of money that you'll be saving, especially if you're doing the oil changes especially if you're doing the oil changes after 5,000 to 6,000 miles. The one thing that I want to make sure that you do is to properly jack the vehicle. The last thing you want is the vehicle falling on you, and make sure that you get a jack, good jack. Make sure you get good jack stands, and just know where the lifting positions are on your specific vehicle. They're usually the same, especially for BMWs. Minor differences here and there, but just make sure that you lift the car properly. And the last thing you want is this thing falling on you and just ruining your life. So jack the vehicle properly, get the right oil, get the right equipment, and you'll be all set. And yeah, you'll save yourself a lot of money. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Peace.